Hey, I just wanted to share something I feel like is quite positive, and I wanted to share it hoping that maybe it will make other people feel positive too. So, when I was a young teenager, I was about 13, I got quite ill. Like, for example, the illness that I actually had wasn't it wasn't like a terrible illness, but it was the way it affected me that was terrible. It's got viral labyrinthitis, and it kind of varies in the way that it affects every single person. And some people go through it for a day, some people go through it for a few weeks, and I just so happened to get the type that I was in hospital for, I think it was only about 2 weeks, something like that. But the long term of it is still ongoing now. I had to learn how to walk again. Um, as you can hear by my voice, I had a lot of problems with my voice. I had to learn how to talk again. I couldn't write whatsoever. I'm still very bad at that. So when I do write, I do it all on the laptop. And I felt really depressed about that because I always thought it was something where it just like snapped one day where it would turn around and I'd be better. And I kept holding on to that. I would say to my father, and I would say, when am I going to get fully better? And I went to the rheumatologist, and it was basically one of the first things he said. You're never gonna get back to where you were before. And it really upset me at the time. And it left me with something called chronic fatigue syndrome, which is just like an extra version of ME, which I also have. I take special vitamins to help with the energy, and I need help with a lot of things. I have very shaky hands, things like that. But the positive I wanted to tell you about, and the first bit doesn't sound positive. I was in a very bad situation when I was in my early 20s, and it kind of left me feeling like that was all I deserved. That was all I've been told. It was what I was. It made me feel like it was all I deserved. I wasn't referred to by name. I was showered at for leaving the light on. Things like that. And I lost everything internally. I lost any desire to better myself. I used to like games a lot, and I just didn't like doing that anymore. And the one good thing definitely that came out of it, I had my daughter, and she is so perfect. She was born premature and she's special needs, but she gives me so much strength, and I don't think I'd be able to completely move on with my life if she wasn't there. And I found I'm in a relationship now. I'm engaged to a wonderful person, a wonderful human being, and he makes me feel like things are possible. Like, he's always supporting my writing. He was one of the first people to buy my children's books for his children when I first brought them out. It was during lockdown, the first book, and he ordered it and he showed his girls. He read it to them, and it amazed me that anyone would do that. And back then, I couldn't even eat in front of anyone else. I was very self-conscious. And he would cook me things, and he would deliberately sit there, holding a pillow or a blanket between us so that it was like I wasn't eating in front of someone. And he understood, and he waited for me to feel more comfortable. And I do now. I feel so much more comfortable. And as egotistical as it might sound, I don't feel like the worst person in the world. I feel like the opposite sometimes, because I don't like myself very much, but he does. And I can't argue with that. I can argue about, like, if someone said you've got to love yourself, I could never do that. Even now, I don't love myself, but he does. And even though I could argue against loving myself, I can't argue against him loving who I am. And it gave me a bit more strength to find some confidence. And it was through him I started getting into gaming again. I bought a game, and we had a mutual best friend. We played it together and we talk about it. That's how we got together, me and my current fiance. And I've got into gaming again. That's why I've started my channel, because it helps to talk, and it, number one, helps me to like use my voice more, and that kind of helps improve it a bit. But it's confidence as well. But I don't think without those things I would be where I am today, without something pushing me to realise that I'm worth working on. And I just wanted to say that because I think that's a positive message. To look at yourself and think, I really hate the person that I am. And then you have no drive to do anything. And then you meet someone who gives you the drive to do things you've not done, or make you feel like you're worth it when you've always thought you weren't worth it. And that's what he's done, and that's what my daughter does for me. So for anyone who feels like they're not worth it, it's your life. No one can tell you to feel a certain way. Only you can tell yourself to feel a certain way. But it helps to think, just because you think you're worthless doesn't mean you are. It's the way you feel. But you can't tell everyone else to think you're worthless, because so many people don't, and you don't even realise it. So it's worth carrying on, even when you feel like you don't want to, because there's always someone who wants you to carry on, who wants you to thrive and make things better, because they care about you that much. And you might not realise it, and you might not feel like it's that way, but it is. So I'm sorry if this was random, but today I went and saw my fiance, and it kind of hit me. It's like I've always known how much he cares about me, and I know how lucky I am for having my daughter, and I'll never feel a different way. But I think today it just hit me especially much, and it's something that everyone deserves to feel, in whichever way they feel it, or whichever way makes them feel better. That's what they should strive to do, because everyone deserves it. So thanks for listening.